So I think we're just going to go ahead and get started.
Okay.
So today we're going to be doing database cleanup. This is kind of like how a couple of I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how you can sort your database, make it manageable for you so that you can start working through all of your contacts to make sure you have the best contact information for them. So that when you decide you want to start using the smart plans, you know that you have a database that's, fully functional for you. This is definitely something that I would highly recommend you do once or twice a year. Just go through everybody twice a year and make sure that if any contact information's changed, you get it updated. It gives you really good line of sight as to maybe who you haven't contacted recently that you can reach out to. So database cleanup is really like an essential part to our business, especially as we grow and our database gets bigger. We want to make sure that it doesn't get too messy because once it's messy, it's overwhelming and then we don't use it, right? So let's keep it clean. Let's get in here and, we can take some time after today. The things that I'll show you, you can set up on your own. That'll help you make this database cleanup more manageable so that you can do it more frequently. Um, so why does a clean database really matter? One of the reasons is the 80-20 rule, right? Like we want to focus on the 20% of our contacts who are going to convert, that are going to give us business, our top sphere, our tight sphere, and we want to make sure that we're pouring into them at a high level. And so we really need to make sure that their contact records are always updated. Then that 80%, the ones that maybe we don't have as close of a relationship with, we still need to get them on some sort of lead generation system. We still need to keep them on a 36 touch, keep them on a drip campaign so that when they are ready to convert, they do think of us. And the only way you can really do that effectively is if your database is clean. And then I'm going to show you again, like how to make this efficient for yourself so that, you're not sitting here with a database of 400 or 500, 1,000 people, which can feel overwhelming. We're going to chunk it down into small bits so you can focus your energies on your cleanup in small sections. So we're going to do that by utilizing three features of the database, tags, filters, and smart views. So that's really what we're going to focus on today, and what combinations you can use between tags, filters, and smart views to, again, make it your cleanup a manageable process, and things that you can really chunk out and divvy up into sections. So first, we're going to talk about tags. One of the most essential parts of your database cleanup is actually to clean up your tags. Over time, you'll notice that you end up having maybe a lot of duplicate tags because you forgot you already had a tag, so then you created another one and now it's the same name, but maybe it's typed slightly different. So you might have some duplicate tags. We want to make sure that we're utilizing the tags that we have. Otherwise, they're just kind of wasting space. And we want to make sure that we have the appropriate tags for the needs for our database. So maybe part of our cleanup is to actually add some tags that we can use during our cleanup. So best practices are always going to be actually starting in your settings so that you can see what your tags look like and what needs to change. So you go to settings. So from the drop down at the top, click on settings. And then you're going to go to command settings, contacts, and contact tags. And this is where you're going to be able to see all of the tags that you've ever created. There's also ones on here that were system created when you first logged into command. So these blue ones here that say like agent, allied resources, they say system on it. You cannot edit or delete the system tags. They're just in there. It's up to you whether or not you actually want to use them or if you want to just ignore them either way. But then you can also see all the tags that I've created, right? They have my name next to them. So there's ones that have come in through Facebook ads, agents, my DTD2 system, A&W, B&E. If you utilize that system, you know what those are. And at the bottom here, you can see that I have 73 different tags. You can change this view, so I'm going to show 100 so that all 73 of my tags are on one page for me. Did you meet them through a career night, through a church group, right? But here's where we start to see that maybe I do have some duplicate tags, right? I've got this D&O for my DTD2, but then I also have one that says D&O DTD2. Well, that's essentially the same thing, right? So what do we really need both of those tags? Because if we were to filter by tags, now I have to choose 2 tags to filter by instead of just choosing 1, okay? So you can edit, you can delete tags. I'm just going to delete the second one here. Once it's done, it cannot be undone. So do I want to delete it? Yes. And now I just have that one D&O tag. Okay.
Now, if you had a contact with that tag you just deleted, are they sort of lost? Are they orphaned?
No, it's going to have you remove the tag from that contact before you can delete it.
Okay, so
So let's
because it
just,
let you, that then we assume you didn't.
yeah.
Okay.
Let me go back to my contacts. Okay, so this sphere of influence tag. So I've used it a couple different times on a couple different contacts. Let's just say I had a duplicate SOI tag. What I would do is I would go through and bulk add my good tag to those contacts. So I would filter by tag. So say I didn't want to use this SOI tag anymore. I'm going to filter by my SOI tag. You're going to see my contacts that have it. And then what I'm going to do is first add the new tag that I want to use to these contacts. So I'm going to highlight all 3 of these. I'm going to hit add tag. And now, in a second here, all 3 of these tags are going to have this new tag that I'm going to use moving forward. So now what I can do is I can remove the old tag that I no longer want. So again, I can do that in bulk. So I just select all. The bottom, you can select more options. And now we have the option to remove tags. So I no longer want this SOI tag. I can remove it. So now I'm not using that tag anymore. I can go back to my settings, go back to those tags. Find that SOI tag I no longer want to use, and now I can delete it.
Got it.
Okay. So first part of your database cleanup is to just make sure that the tags that you have are ones you're using, making sure that if you have any duplicates that you're removing and adding on the appropriate tags so that we can then delete tags that we don't want to use anymore. That way your tagging system starts to become a lot cleaner as you add people into your database, or as you do this cleanup, you're continuing to add people to tags. Okay. So then the next thing is to create some cleanup tags. I think that there's like one in here I've made that has address, but you might want to make some tags that are like missing information. So we can come out here and say missing email and make that a tag. We can create another tag that says missing phone. That already exists in my database. Right, so we can come in here and we can create some of those tags so that we can apply those to the contacts and make some of our cleanup a little bit easier as well. Then as say you have the missing email tag, once you get their email and you add it to them, you can then remove the tag. Okay. I'm also going to show you another way that you can utilize smart plant or smart views to understand who's missing what contact information. Then I would highly recommend, if you don't have like an unsubscribed tag, that you create one as well, so that when people unsubscribe from a smart plan, you can tag them. That just makes it a little bit easier for you to see in real time. I used to have one, must have deleted it. Um, in real time, who um, needs to be unsubscribed, or you can exclude your unsubscribe tag before you add people to a smart plan, right? So an unsubscribe tag just really helps in the long run for you to when you're managing smart plans and things like that. And then let's see, let me go back to my contacts. So we talked about the bulk option for adding and removing tags. So clean up your tags, make sure people are tagged appropriately. That's one piece of your cleanup. Even if you're not doing bulk adding of tags, if you at least know that you have the tags you want to use built into your settings, it'll make the process of cleaning up your database just kind of go that much faster. So then part one is tags, part two is filters. So there's a lot that we can do with filters. If you haven't really gone in here lately, I highly recommend you do it. We can filter by like lead source, by those tags if we want to just grab a group of specific tags. Neighborhoods, if they don't have a neighborhood, things like that. So are they active on a smart plan? When was the last time I modified something? When was the last time I contacted them, right? Are they missing a phone number? Things like that. So we also have advanced filters where you can get more than one filter applied at a time. So here's a cool one that I'm going to do. I'm going to do one for the monthly neighborhood nurture. So I want to find one where the neighborhood is empty and smart plan is empty or not active. So that gave me a contact that I might have an email address for, but I don't have a neighborhood, so I can't put them on the monthly neighborhood nurture. And what we can do with that filter is then we can create a smart view. So over here where it says smart views, and then there's a little button that says create. And I'm going to do this as no neighborhood nurture. So what smart views allow me to do just going to remove these filters. When I come into my database for the day and I think to myself, okay, today I'm going to work on cleaning up people that aren't on the monthly neighborhood nurture and I want to get them set up on one, I can just toggle the smart view that I just created over to the no neighborhood nurture one. And now I have the list of people to start working off of. If you also wanted to bulk add a tag for them that said no neighborhood nurture, you could do that and then just filter by that tag each time, whichever way is easier for you, if you like the smart view or if you want to use the filters. A couple of other smart views that you can do is from the filter type. You can go to advanced. Let's do email is empty. Oh, all right. I have emails on all my contacts. But that would give us the list of people that did not have an email address. And again, what you could do is create a smart view that says missing emails. And so every time you come into your database, you can say, I'm going to work on getting people's emails in today. You can toggle to the smart view that says missing emails, and then you would see that list of everybody that did not have an email. You can do this with all pieces of the contact information, right? So phone number, address, right? So phone number is empty. There we go. I have a couple people that I don't have a phone number for, so I could create a smart view that says missing phone number. And now every time I log into my database, if I want to pull everybody that's missing a phone number and start working on them, I can do that. So you have to have tags so that you can apply filters, right? Because a lot of times we're filtering by the tag. You can also filter by specific pieces of contact information, or like if you want to filter by lead source, that would be another way to do it. If you're getting a lot of leads put into your command. But we have to tag so that we can filter. Once we filter, we can create a smart view so that every time we come and log into command, we can easily pull up that smart view that allows us to then clean up a smaller segment of our database. So maybe, here's another one you can do. You can look at recently active. So if it's been longer than 30 days, change my back to all contacts. So longer than 30 days. So you can see how long ago I've reached out to any of these contacts. And man, I haven't talked to Kathleen since 2022. I should probably reach out to her because, you know, it's been 3 years. Time to make contact, right? You can do a filter for those that are connected to your agent site. So this agent site connection, it says any or connected or not connected. So the agent site is whether they've downloaded your personal app or they've created an account on your website, your agent site. So either of those, as long as they create an account that's linked to you, they'll show as connected. And you'll know they're connected because you'll see this little check mark right there next to their name. That means agent site connected. Okay. So this contact has created an account on my app using that email address. So maybe that's something that you want to take a look at is people that haven't downloaded your app. And maybe that's a good thing for you to use that to reach out to get the missing contact information, right? So, you know, my contact here doesn't have a phone number, so maybe I could email them and say, hey, did you know I have this really cool search app where you can save searches and also search by neighborhoods and search by school districts, which is something a little different than some other search apps out there. If you want to take feel free to download it, create an account. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you like the app. And then if this contact does download that app and sign into it, it's going to become connected to you. And then now you can start building that relationship. I don't think they need a phone number to download the app, so you might not get that piece of information. But at least you know that you've made contact with that person and that they're using the platform that you've given them. So I think when you think about, your database cleanup, what is going to be the goal of it, right? That's kind of what you have to think about and come in here and be efficient with. So I would start with that missing contact information. The other thing that you can do that's really cool is, so I made myself a smart view that says database cleanup. And what I did was I created the columns to just be tags, phone, email, and address. So to do that, there's a button on the right-hand side here that looks like a bunch of columns. If you click on that, you can toggle on and off which columns you want to see. And then you can also reorder them. So by like dragging and dropping. And see how it like changes in real time. And then you can save that smart view as well. So I made one that was just, I don't know what filter I put in here. But you can, let's just say it was a primary phone number, create the columns that you want to see, and then you can save that smart view. Make sense? So, this contact here, well, I've got all her contact information, so that one looks good. But this one here, I'm missing the phone number. So, but I have an address. So maybe I, make sure that we have the monthly neighborhood nurture on this contact. Maybe I send a card in the mail because it's Christmas time and that would be nice to do. Or just a thank you note, note to say hi, something handwritten gets you a lot more traction with people, and start to develop that relationship and see if maybe I can get a phone number from them, right? This one, I have a phone number and an email address, but I don't have a home address yet. So, now's the time to reach out and make a phone call. Hey, so I saw, you registered you came to my open house a couple months ago. Just wanted to see, are you still looking, blah, 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 and then try to get their primary address so that that one's complete as well. So your database cleanup, you have to kind of come at it really methodical and make sure that you're trying to go after the information that's missing so that you can then do your lead gen at the highest level. The nice thing about database cleanup is that it is lead generation, right? You're going to have to reach out to the people in your database to get that missing information. Now, sometimes if it's the address and you know the person, you can just look on the tax records, right? Or, maybe you guys can use the white pages or, some reverse search to try to get contact information. But I honestly feel like, you really need to develop a relationship with people. Because anybody can look up anybody else's information, but that doesn't mean they're going to even talk to you or use you, right? So it's all about the relationship. You can, look for people that don't have any tags and, start there. Like this first contact here, man, how do I even know this person, right? And let me add some tags. Let me start adding them to my DTD2. Make that part of your database cleanup. Look for, the cold leads, the ones that you haven't reached out to or haven't been active in your database. Try to see if you can warm them up somehow, or at least get them on a smart plan of some sort, right? So that's kind of how I approach database cleanup. Um, it really starts with the tags. It really starts with identifying, what are you going to, what's the most important piece of contact information that you want to go after this round. Um, you don't necessarily have to feel like you have to clean up your entire database in one day,
Hmm.
but over the course of like a week, you should be really methodical about getting your database cleaned up, and then you don't have to worry about it for 6 months,
Yeah.
right? Like, let's go hard at it. Let's get as much information. Let's get it as clean as possible for this week. And then I'm going to literally forget about it. And I'm just going to keep working my smart plans, and I'm just going to keep doing my lead gen, doing my little notes and timeline, and, updating a tag here and there when necessary. But I'm just going to focus on my smart plans for 6 months, and then another 6 months. Hey, I need to go through, make sure everything's clean again, do that process over. I don't want people to get so bogged down that they're doing database cleanup every day and then they're not actually utilizing the lead generation portion of it, right? But we also can't effectively lead gen unless we've attempted to clean our database a little bit.
This is good. It's really powerful.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of really cool things that you can do,
Mhm.
just to chunk it down. Don't make it so overwhelming for yourself. I know if I logged in, I saw 1,000 people in my database, and I was like, I'm gonna clean this. What? Like, I get real frustrated real quick, right? So
Yeah.
just have a plan of action for that day. I would start with tags. I would move to missing contact information. Then I would go to missing smart plans as like the final thing. And if you do that for every contact twice a year, um, honestly, that's probably half your lead gen, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. I liked your point about relationship because obviously, like you said, we could go into white pages and get missing information, but isn't the whole point of this to, have that relationship be connected? So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know I don't like spam, right? I delete it, and then if it's spammy enough, it's companies that I will never ever do business with. Like, I will never order your product. So
mhm.
I never want somebody to feel that way about me as an agent, that I'm so spammy they'll never talk to me. However, there has to be some consistency in your message to them. But I think it has to start with that relationship. Obviously, like, open houses are really key for you to try to get as much contact information and kind of start off that relationship as quickly as possible. Then
Yeah,
you at least have reasons to be following up with them throughout the year. But don't, your sphere, your friends and families and acquaintances that you've known, don't be afraid to ask them for their phone number. Don't be afraid to ask them for their email address. Don't be afraid to ask them for their home address. I know it feels awkward, but I literally give out my contact information to like anybody, right? Like, we so freely give contact information, we just feel really weird about asking for it. And I'm telling you, like, if they don't want to give it to you, they'll just say, like, nah, I'm not going to give it to you, right? But most people, 9 times out of 10, when you ask for it, they just give it, right? And it's not a big deal. So if you don't act like it's a big deal, it won't be a big deal, and you'll get that missing contact information pretty easily.
yeah, yeah. This was good. I learned some good stuff.
Good. All right. Yeah, it's short and sweet today, but I think it gives you a foundation to kind of go in there and start playing with the filters, thinking about the smart views that you want to create. You can always also, I didn't show this, but if you click on this manage smart views here, you
Hmm.
can edit and delete any of the ones that you've created.
Oh,
There are a couple of ones that KW has built in here for you. So like the recently active, ones that are missing neighborhoods, that sort of thing.
hmm.
So you can start by just using some of these, right? If you're just like, I don't know what to do today, come and click on one of these. Otherwise, you can create your own, and then you can always edit and delete them if you feel like they're no longer relevant to you, or maybe you've accomplished what you needed to accomplish. But I think any I would separate out the missing contact information ones like missing phone, email, and address. I would have 3 smart views for those. I would do one that was like no neighborhood nurture. So there is the no neighborhood one, smart view, which you can, let's just look at that. So these are my contacts that are missing a neighborhood. That one's already built there. The thing is that it will pull them whether or not they have an email address. So you might not necessarily be able to set them up on the smart plan if you don't also have an email address, right? Those are the two requirements, as an email and a neighborhood. So
Okay.
this tackles half of it, right? Like, you need to make sure they have a neighborhood. You can also then add a filter to this if you wanted to. That was missing email if we wanted to. But make
Okay.
sense?
Yep.
So there's a couple of ones in there you can start to use. Um, Start with, missing tags, missing phone, missing email, missing address. Those are the important pieces of the database. So cool.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once it's clean, you get to start using smart plans, and then your lead gen really takes off from there. So,
Yeah.
and we'll do, we've done a lot of conversations on smart plans. And we have a little bit of time, but my favorite ones are the ones that the marketing team are already just creating for you. These are the ones that are just plug and play. You don't even have to think about it. Just search Milwaukee, um, filter, or I'm sorry, view category newest. Kind of gets rid of the stuff from 2021 that's in here. Um, Here's your Merry Christmas email that you can send out to your entire database. Metro MLS market statistics that are monthly. Holiday lights, um, local business stuff, Christmas cookies, tree farms, all sorts of stuff that you could send out to your spheres today. So I
Nice.
would, every month, I would come into this. I would download the latest 3 or 4 smart plans that I have, and then I would just set everybody up on them to send out over the course of that month. And then I'd be done with my lead gen for the month.
Okay. That's good.
Don't overthink these smart plans. You don't need super complex ones. You don't even need to make any. All you need to do is come in here and download these, because these are value.
Hmm.
Holiday lights, super valuable.
Can you just for grins, let's just use the holiday lights one. Can you uh walk that through the process?
Yeah. So you just click on add smart plan, and then you
Hmm.
click on download. And all that's doing is moving it to your My Smart Plans.
Okay.
And because we don't think about these things, we don't need to think about it. We're going to go straight into contacts. We're going to select all of our contacts at once. You can do up to 500. Okay. And then down at the bottom here, we're just going to click add to smart plan. Select the holiday lights. And then do you want to send it now, or do you want to schedule it?
Okay.
So that's all you got to do. Like 4 buttons, and I've sent everybody in my database an email.
Okay. Question for you. Um,
Mhm.
can I how can I see what that smart plan is going to send?
I always suggest, one, send it to yourself. So you should be in your database
Okay.
and you can select just yourself and send it to yourself so that you can see how it looks. And you can also
Okay.
make sure that it doesn't like bounce, like you have all the information that needs to be in there correct.
Okay.
So you can do that. Another way is when you're in Smart Plans, this Holiday Lights one here, you can click on the pencil to edit. Click on the email in the middle here, and then on the left hand, this little preview button.
Okay.
The only thing is that the preview is not going to pull in your information, but
Market
the
data.
actual
Yeah.
email should. But
Nice.
this is what it looks like.
Okay.
And you didn't have to design this or think about it or research any of this.
Yeah.
And yet it's super valuable for, your spheres and your people to get that information because it's things that they would probably enjoy doing, right?
Okay. Yeah. That's good stuff. Okay. Thank
Here's
you.
what it looks like when it comes through.
Sweet.
So pulled in all my
Okay.
branding. Yeah, easy.
I am going to get busy.
Right? Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. And honestly, like, smart plans, or these smart plans are all email based, right? The monthly neighborhood nurture is email based. So to me, emails and phone numbers are probably the most important to get in there. Start with emails, get as many emails as you can. That way you can send these smart plans because they're easy and they don't take a lot of time or, thought behind them.
Uh-huh.
Get those going on a regular rotation. Then you could start worrying about the other pieces of the contact information, right?
Yeah.
The other thing I have
Okay.
to say about the monthly neighborhood nurture is yes, you have to have a neighborhood, right? But when somebody came through your open house, maybe you don't know their home address, okay? But whatever house they came through, so they came in through my open house that I hosted in Muskego, I can just add the neighborhoods kind of near where my open house was. Because
Oh,
if
okay.
they came to that open house, wouldn't they maybe be interested in a house in that area? Like, I'm personally not going to drive up to Sheboygan to go to an open house when I have no interest in moving up there, right? So if this person came to, my Muskego open house that I had, I could just start to add a couple of neighborhoods in Muskego near where that open house was. And now I can add them to the monthly neighborhood nurture, right? So this is a great way to help follow up on those open house leads.
Yes.
Really, when you're putting open house leads into your database, make sure you know which house they came to, right? Like which open house you did.
Yeah.
Um, the reason it's in this person's contact record is because they signed in through, I did an open house sign-in sheet through my website. So they manually typed in their information into this open house page on my website, and then that's why they got into command. So, and then it's tied to
Okay.
that property.
Okay.
So a lot of
That's
cool
good.
things you can do to get the contact information in, right? But then
Yeah.
it's all about that follow up and, I need to add some tags to her, like open house lead would be a good one. Missing address, obviously, is, one of the things. I don't have her home address because she was just somebody that came into an open house, but I do know that she was looking around the Muskego area. So now when I'm following up with her and I'm calling her once a quarter, we can talk about if she's still looking in the Muskego area, you know, and what does that look like for her?
Okay. That's good. That's really helpful with open houses because people don't necessarily give you everything.
Hmm. Yeah. But that neighborhood nurture email is a powerful tool. So the more that we can utilize it and get people on it, um, the more it will pay off for you guys in the long run. So,
All right. Good stuff.
okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else you want to see about database cleanup?
No, now I just got to do it.
Yeah. Start with the tags. Make sure you have the right tags.
Okay.
Then the rest is easy from there.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank
Take
you.
care.